still moving east, and it's just going to get re-energized by more energy that's coming in, and it's eventually going to turn into quite the system here in the Midwest. Could be some really heavy snowfall actually on the back side of this, and some stronger thunderstorms on the front side. Unfortunately, look at this, another coastal low bringing moisture, tossing it into the northeast as we head into the weekend. Ugh, I know, another Saturday. It has been weekend after weekend after weekend. A lot of them have cleared out a bit more for Sunday, and it looks like this one will see some improving conditions, but still not the best weekend overall with that onshore flow too. That of course pushes the water onto some of the land here, and it's really just not that great. So 1 to 2 inches of rain here for us. So it's not super heavy, but it's there. And even if it is just like light rain, you still have the clouds. It's like, come on, give me the sunshine on the weekend at least. Here it is Friday night, starting to make its way into the eastern lakes, also the I-95 corridor. Saturday, heavy rainfall from Michigan to New Jersey. Saturday night, we're still dealing with this thing. I really do feel bad for you guys. Super bummer here. Slight possibility. This doesn't look like a huge flood maker, but you always have to worry about those locally heavy amounts. And then Sunday into our Sunday night, I mean, things are kind of getting better. I don't know. I just feel so bummed about it, especially with so many people trying to get up here on the weekends and check out the leaves, Jim.
What's your past peak in northern New England? I can attest to that.
All right, let's talk about meteorological winter, also known as December 1st. May still be 51 days away, but it's time to start preparing for what to expect this season.
Storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel has an in-depth look at the winter outlook and how El Nino will play a role.
And if it's a big enough snowstorm, then it gets a name, and it's time to unveil this season winter storm names here at the Weather Channel.
All right, and the first on the list is going to be Archer. I always like it when you start off. I don't know why the name Archer. I was like, man, that's a cool name to start things off, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we got a lot on here. You can kind of look to see if maybe one of your names is on the list, your kids' names is on the list. There's a couple unique ones as well.
So where will Archer be? Where will Archer be? Well, let's have a look at our forecast here and what it takes actually to get a named storm. And there are, criteria, at least 2 million people and or 400,000 square miles of area. Plus, you have to be under or expect to be under a winter storm warning. So that's the criteria that is used.
So obviously there wouldn't be a named storm unless we hit that criteria. So you look at something like this system, and we've got a lot of snow.
Could we have Archer?
Just maybe not enough people impacted by this, but we've got good snow for this first part of the year, which is great to talk about.
Yeah, which is about where we see it. So this is about average for this time of year here in the West to see measurable snow. But we still have hurricane season. We'll talk about that.
Morning hours.
Listen, a lot of people are really worried. I have a friend that lives down kind of north of the Fort Myers area. Was like, do I need to worry about this? Am I going to see surge?
This event and stuff like that.
Just with that onshore push, a lot of people have been traumatized by Idalia and Ian. And I said, you're going to be okay with this one. You're not going to have too much of a water rise.
We'll take you through it.
Yeah, we could see some, push of water and have a few areas right along the coast, but this is not going to be like a huge surge producer like those big hurricanes. All right, here is our big energy that's coming into the Northwest. That is what sparked all these advisories that are posted for the snow that's coming. Look at this. 1, 2 feet of snow. I know everyone's getting 3 feet of snow. Yeah, getting so excited about this. It'll be a nice base to keep putting more snow on. This is all going to be swinging east and actually get re-energized in the atmosphere with another piece of energy that keeps coming into this. And that's going to pull moisture northbound. And the combination of this means we're going to actually see some gusty winds. This is going to be pretty gnarly weather system. On the backside, there's your snow. But on the front side, you could see some of those storms, those elevated thunderstorms, especially north of that warm front. Tomorrow, that's when things are really going to kick up into action here for us and give us the threat for more severe weather. So we're starting out the morning with a little cluster of thunderstorms. And as we go through the day, you get that daytime heating and you see everything really start to come together. So today, it's really just getting its act together. It's getting organized, laying out all its clothes. And then by tomorrow, it's packed and headed to the airport and really cranking for us. Notice as we head into the overnight hours, that's when things start to get busy busy into South Dakota with the storms. And then as we head into our Thursday morning, you see everything kind of lining up along that warm front, along that boundary. And then you see that severe weather develop in the warm sector. There's your spin, and then everything is going to continue to push east. So with that said, 3 to 5 inches of rain are possible, and we really need the rain. It is super dry in this area, but obviously too much in a short amount of time can cause flooding. That's going to push into Madison, Chicago, Grand Rapids, and here's the development of it. Look at it as we head, especially into our Friday. Those tightly packed white lines, that means very strong winds. All right, this weekend we have an annular solar...
Earth on Saturday will be overhead. The moon will block 91% of the sun's surface, creating a ring of fire solar eclipse.
Yeah, people in 8 states from Oregon to Texas will get to see the full ring of fire. An expert shows you how to enjoy the eclipse while out hurting your eyes. Have more on eye safety during this solar event coming up at 8:40 Eastern right here on America's Morning Headquarters.
That's when we will talk with an optometrist, all right, eye doctor, about the medical dangers of viewing an eclipse without proper protection. You can't just use your sunglasses.
No, not at all. 100% not. You will really hurt your eyes. Let's have a look at the path of this.
Let's do that.
Starting into Oregon, going all the way around the Four Corners and down into Texas.
So that 90% plus area is what, about 100 miles wide?
Yeah,
Is what we're
a
talking
little
about?
over 100.
And,
yeah.
and the farther you go out toward the ends of it, you have a little less of annularity, correct?
When you're talking about your width of path.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then as you go out, everyone in the United States has some semblance of this, you know, Dallas to Columbus, Ohio, up toward Burlington as well. Are you driving this or am I driving?
I'm driving it. We're going through it. I'm trying to click it. It's actually not.
Are we blocked up?
We're a little stuck.
Because I'm like,
there we
Abrams
go.
would not
there
let
we
me
go.
fry
No.
out there.
So this is a cloud cover,
forecast.
and you know, Klamath Falls, we're like at 80%, and even down into Albuquerque. Jim and I were talking about yesterday. There's definitely some upper level moisture coming in.
I think that we're going to have some high clouds.
Yeah.
So it'll be a filtered annularity, if you will, by the time we get to peak. But down toward the Texas coast, we could be good.
It's going to be great. Portland, Oregon, 95% cloud cover. Sorry, I'm not hopeful for you. Albuquerque, around 50, but again, they could be high. And in Dallas, you don't have annularity, but you'll have no clouds.
No clouds.
But you'll be close. You got a good show.
Hey, our team, our meteorologists.
Sign it, though, for you for sure. At the top of the hour in America's Morning Headquarters.
Since we have El Nino, we'll do some damage on this.
Yeah, we'll do it. Speaking of damage, we could have severe weather that could actually do some damage coming into Florida as well, from Apalachicola all the way down into Sarasota, even Fort Myers. As we go through today, we have a Torcon value of 3 for us here. Yes, that might be on the lower end of the scale, but all it takes is one spin up over your house and it will be problematic. Look at the overall flow. We have that jet level energy that's moving like this and has been moving like that. We've been seeing the clouds like that for days, moving from west to east. And then as you go down, we actually do have the winds that are going to be turning with height, and that's what you call is shear. That is directional shear. There's also some speed shear, depending on how strong the jet stream are winds, you know, versus the lower level winds. So, you know, there is that little bit of spin that can happen in the atmosphere for us, and we have that forcing going on. This is some of that forcing, that cape that pops up as well. So plenty of moisture, obviously, right, because this does have a tropical component to it. Not only is it for today, tonight, as we head overnight into tomorrow morning, notice 6 a.m., these are going to be rocking and rolling through the Sunshine State. We'll get better from north to south as we go throughout the day with our forecast. So tomorrow, that severe weather, again, remember, north to south as we go through the day. So pay attention to that. And really through the morning hours, we'll have some of those stronger thunderstorms, even overnight hours. So make sure you can be woken up. Florida does get severe weather during not only October, but as we head into those winter months. It's pretty typical. Closer look, this is not going to be like Idalia. And I'm only saying that is because I had some friends who were just north of where Ian made landfall and were saying, oh my goodness, am I going to get water rise with this? I'm really, really, really worried. This is not like that. Maybe a little bit of water inundation with the push, but it's not going to be anything like any of those hurricanes that we've seen here, Jordan.
Good. Thanks for the update. Because
moves through Nebraska and then marches eastbound, gets through the Midwest, and then eventually on here into the Northeast. And look at what day. Double thumbs down. Another rainy weekend. Boston's had, what, 6 of the 6 last weekends? If you go back to May, the number is just absurd. Majority of the weekends have been above average. We had all the numbers the other weekend. I mean, It was like 12 out of 16 weekends, 14 out of 16 weekends, depending. It was just insane. So more rain for our Saturday. I don't have to tell you if you live here. You know it. You've been living it, especially if you have kids, having to find activities and keep them in the house. We do have really kind of a stretched out low. So here's a coastal low, and then this is an occluded front with another low. And essentially an occlusion is when it's towards the end of its life. That's the best way to describe it. Cold front's overtaking that warm front, and we do have some gusty winds. Look at this. Sunday, we have coastal low that will bring winds here, not only along the coast, but rain that's going to help us. You know, in the Northeast, a lot of us don't really need the rain. There's some areas that are a little bit below average, but overall, it's just been so sopping wet for our Friday. There it is really on our Saturday. And notice that the green on Sunday, it's not as deep of a green. Saturday night, of course, we have. On Sunday, it's a little bit of a lighter green, so it's a little bit better. Locally, I think we'll see some flooding. I don't think this is going to be a huge, flood event. There's Sunday I keep talking about. I'm trying to find the good in this, Jordan, even though it's still not great when you have the clouds and we start getting better Sunday night. Well, known as December 1st, may still be 51 days away, but it's time to start preparing for what to expect this season.
Storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel has an in-depth look at the winter outlook and how El Nino is going to play a role.
Oh, if we do get a winter storm, then it gets a name here on the Weather Channel. It's time to unveil our season's winter storm names. Jordan giving you the drum roll, and here they are for this season. Starting off with Archer. That is the first one.
Yes. Question is, when will the first named storm take place? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we're still talking snow today, but look at the names. Maybe your name's on the list. We got a couple of unique ones. I like Kate, spelled with a C. We've got Sawyer. I almost named my kid Sawyer.
That's a good name.
Isn't that cool?
I like that name, too, as well. So what does it take for a storm to get a name? There's actual criteria that we have here because we're scientists, and this is what scientists do. 2 million people and or 400,000 square miles of an area, and it has to be under or expected to be under a winter storm warning. And we do have the potential for a big one here. Will this be the first named storm?
Got a big one.
I'm not sure.
A lot of this is mountain areas. Obviously, you've got, population that would be in this as well. Of course, like Steph said, also in area coverage. But believe it or not, this is technically the time of year we start to see some of that back in the Rockies and the Cascades. That pink color's late September, and then, of course, purple's in October.
All right, time now to go over to Jim.
All right, time now for you. We're going to talk about that.
Let's do it here and get right into it because this is actually going to cause a lot of problems. We have multiple alerts for this. This is as we head through today where you see this kind of red shading up here. Then into tomorrow, we have that possibility of more severe weather. Also, tomorrow into Friday, we have that threat for rain coming in. And on top of all of that, we have winter weather advisories behind this system. So it is like advisory after advisory after advisory. And notice we have these winds as well from Valentine back towards California. Here is our big weather maker. This spiral here is going to be swinging east, and it's actually going to get reinforced by more energy coming in, bringing us 2, maybe 3 feet of snow. I know last hour I was like 1, 2, and Kintori's like 3 feet, Abrams. Don't forget about the 3 feet that's coming on into us here. And it's going to be a lot of moisture coming up from the south, a lot of energy surging in from the west. And notice these white lines. Those are isobars. The closer they are together, the stronger the winds. Today, this is along and ahead of that warm front. Then tomorrow, we have a better chance of severe weather. Some storms kicking off today, this morning, I should say, into Missouri. And then this whole system starts getting its act together as we go through the day today. Notice into the afternoon, shower storms. You can kind of see that counterclockwise flow in our radar here. And then as we head into our Thursday and fun day, fun day?
Yeah.
Friday.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sunday.
Friday fun day. Maybe it should be a Friday fun day instead of Sunday fun day. There's that warm front, and you can see that boundary kicking off our storms. Thursday really gets its act together. This is snow coming in for us. This is just showing moisture, not necessarily rain there. And then it just continues to strengthen into our Friday. All right, well, this weekend we have the annular solar.
Get ugly.
Yeah.
That we know. Hey, guys, the greatest show on Earth will be this Saturday overhead. The moon will block 91% of the sun's surface, creating that ring of fire solar eclipse.
It will. People in 8 states from Oregon to Texas will get to see the full ring of fire. An expert shows us how to enjoy the eclipse while keeping your eyes safe from the sun's harsh rays. Pinhole projector, you want your back to the sun and then looking that way at it there. For more eye safety during the solar event coming up at 8:40 Eastern on America's Morning Headquarters.
That's when we will talk live with an optometrist about the medical dangers of viewing an eclipse without proper protection. And FYI, your sunglasses are not proper protection.
No, they are not.
Not
at
even
all.
close. All
not
right, so
at
remember
all.
that.
This is where you see annularity. I'm going to say it over and over again. It's not totality. It's annularity when it's at its peak, which is about 91%. You're going to see it for nearly 5 minutes in a lot of places.
So annularity leaves the ring. Totality covers the whole sun.
Yes.
That's really the only difference in through here. That little dark red area is about 100 miles wide. And you will see a variance in the total time within annularity within that. I mean, the farther out you are from the center, it's a little less.
It is a little less. Now, the question is, are you going to have clouds, though, blocking your view? Klamath Falls. We have moisture in the upper levels. The surface is a little bit drier. Yeah.
Jen has a great surprise for everybody, by the way, you just shared with me.
Yeah, I did. You'll have to watch on Saturday. She'll show on Saturday for sure.
Right.
Things do improve in Bryce Canyon. Albuquerque, Jim, you got a big jet over you. I mean, high clouds.
You know what?
Hopefully you'll just have high clouds.
Here's the deal. At $1.5 billion, if somebody said if you buy a lottery ticket, you have a 46% chance of winning, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
I'm buying it.
All right, let's do it.
Yep.
Portland, Oregon, not great. We'll have a lot of cloud cover here for us. There's Albuquerque that we were just showing you. Dallas, it's not going to be annularity, but you get a good show here into Dallas.
Yeah, with we are pretty confident you're going to have sunny skies there. All right, so we go from annular to total, which is the black and through here. How would you let San Antonio gets the bonus?
You are
crisscross
so
applesauce.
lucky. I mean, the chances here in San Antonio, and of course, as Jim was mentioning, annularity, you have that ring of fire, and then totality is when you could take your glasses off, but we're not going to see totality with our annular eclipse.
Not the one that's coming up, so get ready.
At the top of the hour in America's Morning Headquarters, a line of roughly
nickeled and dimed over the next few months will help this area.
That's the positive. Unfortunately, there are going to be some negatives with this, too. There's the threat for severe weather here from Apalachicola, really all the way down into Fort Myers. We do have the possibility of tornadoes coming in. We have seen that overall flow of moisture like this. We've been showing you it in the clouds all week. But if you're just joining us this week, well, this is what the flow has been like. If you look at what's happening at different levels of the atmosphere, this is way up there. You'll see that the winds change direction with height. We have a little bit of shear, a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. And so that means that we could have the possibility of tornadoes and also just strong winds and heavy downpours. Look at all of this oomph that we have going on and all of the tropical moisture that's coming in with that as well. So through overnight Wednesday, even into Thursday morning, you're going to have that threat for severe weather. Look at 6 a.m. We do have that threat for those stronger thunderstorms and still tornadoes to develop, and then watch it clear out from north to south as we go throughout the day. So here we are tomorrow, Gainesville, Cedar Key, Tampa, Orlando, Daytona Beach. Again, that severe weather threat tomorrow with the storms that we will still be dealing with as we go overnight and through the day. Usually our highest risk is right in that I-10, I-20 corridor here in the south, but Florida does get severe weather this time of year, and also, you know, as we go deeper into winter, Florida has more of the ingredients needed in order to cause severe weather. Showers and storms will be streaming in overnight. I had a friend who, you know, was a little worried about hurricane season after Ian. And I know a lot of people here are still recovering from Idalia. This will not be an Idalia, maybe a little water rise here, but nothing like we see during a hurricane, Jordan.
Good. Going to get the rain nonetheless, and we've got
through spots like Nebraska, and then continues to march eastbound, and there it is on our Saturday. I do think, by the way, Sunday might be able to be salvaged, and that's what it seems like. Half the weekend's a wreck, and then the second half for a majority of us, the sun comes out a little bit more. But we do get another coastal low to develop. That's just lifted energy, tossing moisture for us here into the northeast, and we'll get it. I think Saturday will be the heaviest day. If you look at Sunday, really, the Euro wants to fully get this out of there. So I think Sunday could be much better. Maybe some clouds still, but it could be much, much better for us here. The coastal areas still could have some of those gustier winds as we go through the day. 1 to 2, 2 to 3 inches of rain. A lot of us don't need the rain. Some of us do. But majority of the Northeast has been super wet, and we will see both models kind of lining up with our rainfall totals. So Friday night, it starts to creep into the eastern lakes, the Appalachians. Saturday, we are going to see more rain and showers for us. And then as we go into Saturday night, it lingers. So it's an all-day Saturday thing for us. But I got to tell you, I think as we head into our Sunday, we could see some of these improving conditions. Localized flooding, I don't think is going to be a huge, flood event. But Sunday, notice the green is not as heavy on this forecast. But looking at some of the details, I really think we're going to see better conditions than that kind of alludes to for our Sunday. Though back in the Great Lakes, we could see some of those showers lingering. Here is the leaves. I know a lot of people are trying to get up here to see the leaves, but it's just been so wet every weekend for us here. Look at that. New York, 5 out of 6. Boston, 6 out of the 6 last weekends have been rainy ones. Jordan?
All right, well, we're going to
right now. All right, meteorological winter, also known as December 1st, may still be 51 days away, but it's time to start preparing for what to expect this season.
Yeah, and so we're actually going to listen to storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel as he has an in-depth look at the winter outlook and how El Nino could play a role this year.
All right, so we were just talking about how much snow we were thinking we'd get in Atlanta here.
Equal chances. No, we're going cold and we're going snow.
You heard it there. So if we had a big snowstorm in the south, they would get a winter name. And here at the Weather Channel, we've been naming them for quite a while now. And here they are for this season. And our first name is...
There it is. Archer. Archer. I like that name, Archer. We got a lot of, interesting names here. Archer, if you're a comic book fan, kind of people think of the Archer. And then you've got, where is it? The J name, Jarvis, for anybody Avenger fans out there, Iron Man fans. But, look at your name. Maybe your name's on the list. You got some interesting, unique ones here. And, of course, we're kind of waiting to see when we'll see that first named storm actually work its way across the country and impact some areas.
And there is scientific criteria. We are a scientific network, after all, right? It has to be 2 million people and or 400,000 square miles of area. Plus, you have to be under or expected to be under a winter storm warning from the National Weather Service.
This is good, too, the and or, right? Because it could be an or, it doesn't have to be an and. We've got a good chunk of territory here that could see snowfall. But, this is the time of year we typically see it in the Rockies as well. You see most of that coming down late September and October, where we're at right now. Then eventually, I always like this January, February color, because it's like, will we get some down here? I don't know. Equal chances. We'll have to see.
Listen, in an El Nino year, you have all that moisture coming across in cooler temps. So we got a chance.
Bring it.
Away from the west side of the state onto the east side. So get used to this with an El Nino year.
That is true. In an El Nino year, we do have that southern branch that's real active, can bring a lot more moisture to us here in the south. And let's show you where the other areas are that could see severe weather. Today, we have an area that pokes out all the way to Peoria that could bring us storms. And then tomorrow, there's a higher chance of some storms right over the center of the country. Then you've got the rain tomorrow and Friday. It's just going to push right along that warm front, right along that boundary going east. Then, of course, we have all the winter weather advisories that we're dealing with. And on top of that, we've got all the wind watches. So we have one big weather maker that's going to cause all of these issues. There it is. There is your counterclockwise spin. We do have this, and that's going to roll east, and it gets reinforced with more energy coming in. Look at our snowfall totals. 1, 2, even 3 feet of snow coming in. Moisture is going to interact with our low that's coming from the west to the east. And you see all these white lines, those are isobars. The closer they are together, the windier it is. So this is going to be a potent little system for us, starting off with that severe weather along the warm front. Tomorrow in the warm sector, we see the threat for some stronger thunderstorms. Right now, a little batch of rain going from Missouri on into Illinois. And as we go through the day, look at all this energy that starts to grow northbound. And we see our low. You can kind of see it going counterclockwise back here. You see that counterclockwise spin? And storms start to fire up even into the overnight hours. Notice this is 2 a.m. Thursday. We've got them cutting across South Dakota. Continues into our Thursday. Friday, it really gets its act together. And you can kind of see this like textbook shape system coming across, warm, cold, some upper level energy still holding back. And along that, we're going to see rain because we really need it. It is super dry in this area, but it could also come with some flooding. Next, we'll talk about days away from the annular solar eclipse happening. It is this Saturday, and millions will be treated to a stellar view.
But watching this event unfold with the naked eye can be harmful.
Oh, yeah.
So now's the time to review how to keep your eyes safe. Dr. Stephen Reed, doctor of optometry, joins us with expert tips on properly protecting your vision. Doc, thanks for talking to us this morning. First and foremost, sunglasses just won't cut it, will they?
No, not at all. Yeah, thank you, first of all, for having me. Yeah, you're right.
That's a great explanation. And Doc, you see these solar glasses, and they're just paper, all right? What's the difference between that and your sunglasses?
Yeah, well,
I also want to stop people from using binoculars, telescopes, all of those types of things too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, don't even...
Is sufficient for this or not?
Well, I'm not going to go into that exactly because I don't know all the different filters in a welding helmet. I'd say it's...
Let's say you don't have the glasses, all right? What's the perfect viewing technique for this?
Well, you guys are more experts.
Is it pain? Is it your vision going? Like, when should someone come see, a doctor about this?
Yeah, well, surprisingly...
Once it's damaged,
Exactly.
It's damaged is the problem.
Dr. Stephen Reed, doctor of optometry, thanks for joining us this morning.
Great.
Some great tips on that. I still have my glasses from the total in 2017.
Oh, I wonder if they're still good. That might be
that's
something.